So this is the part of the stream which I enjoy because I don't have to sit here and act like I'm enjoying myself playing Fortnite when it's absolutely irritating me. So tonight we have a couple videos we're gonna go through. This first one, okay, and I actually have to stream mark it right now. Rich Lux. If you don't know who he is, he's a flamer, and I say that in the nicest way possible. There's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong is just that he's such a fucking millennial that he doesn't have this. He doesn't have any sense of boundaries. And even if even if he were to come here and I'd be like, no, Rich, no, you don't. Because you did the video where you and your friend got tested for AIDS and HIV, the precursor to AIDS, all right? And I was astonished, okay? Because in my day and age, and I'm an old fucking woman, in my day and age, first of all, my neighbor, I grew up in a very stuck up, snotty neighborhood. And the first person in our entire county to die of AIDS lived across the street from me. And he lived in New York. He was gay, lived in New York. Lived the risky lifestyle, and it was so fucked up for me at like 9, 10 years of age to just watch the neighbor die and not understand anything about HIV or AIDS or anything. And I remember when he started to get sick, I'd go over and play games and hang out over there. It sounds like totally pedo-y, but it wasn't. And it was my friend's brother. So my friend went off to school and her brother came back home and died. Anyhow, I remember giving him this 101 Dalmatian puzzle, and when he died they gave it back to me, and I didn't want to touch it because I was afraid I would die because he touched it, and I didn't know if this was uh you know the smallpox epidemic. Like, there was so little information, and the information we had been told in the late 80s was nothing like the information that you guys have made available to you today. You never back then would ever have gone to the Walgreens or the Rite Aid or the CVS and picked up a HIV test kit. It just wasn't acceptable. Having HIV or AIDS when I grew up was a death sentence, whereas now it's pretty much like, oh, you got HIV, well, take these meds, keep fucking, and you'll be fine. That's how everybody on the internet has been acting about it. And I'm astonished because people I literally lived in the same neighborhood as died from that. It was a big deal, and it's so disturbing just watching somebody die of AIDS. It's so disturbing because it's not all the people that you fucked, all the people that you had laughs and drinks and beers and good times and smoked a joint with and partied with. None of them are there. Nobody was there for him. Nobody was there. All the fucking partiers, all the fucking people that he had hung out with and made friends with, this big New York lifestyle, nobody was there. Now, with this video we're about to watch, it's astonishing because these two, clearly gay, men are making such light of it. And he asks dumb questions. He acts so stupid that I had no choice but to bring this video to my channel. And I always notice that Rich Lux is let me see if it's, I'm looking at the screen, it's going to be his left eyebrow, right here, is always not, right here, is always not glued on. That, always fucking drives me nuts. The only reason I watch this kid is because... Why do I watch Rich Lux? You know how... Well, when I were growing up, you don't know, but when I were growing up, okay, clowns were not accepted. They just was not. Stephen King had that It movie out there and everything. And clowns became this just trailer trash, dirty, nasty, scary, loser stereotype. So I watch Rich Lux because, honestly, and drag queens did this. Rich Lux didn't do this, but Rich Lux's predictive programming has been laid on so thick, and he's been so receptive to his predictive programming that he's like the millennial clown. And I don't mean this in any good way or any bad way. I just mean it in a way. He is a clown. He is the millennial clown. You know, Stephen King killed off the clowns back then. And now here we are with drag queens kind of reviving the whole clown industry. You know, whether you got a dick or not, you know, you could dress up like a woman. And it's so fucked up for me, honestly, on a side note, because like I am all biological, natural fucking woman. Like grade A, 100%, all natural woman. And I find it really weird that I grew up when you're a tranny, you know, you hung out only in certain parts of the world with certain people, you didn't put it on display. And now, if you're a heterosexual, you hang out in parts of the world and you don't put it on display. Now, it's so weird to me because you can just wake up one day and decide that you want what I was naturally born with. And that baffles me because all these people are like, oh, I'm so sad. You don't know how hard it is to be me. You don't understand what it's like to be me. I never identified with being a man. And when I dress up as a woman, I feel alive. All right, well, for one, that's your predictive programming getting its balls tickled and its dick sucked. Congratulations, you're good at giving your predictive programming head. Of course you're gonna fucking feel good about it because you have been designed and programmed by society through repetitious media, being exposed to things that your subconscious can only understand and you can't. Of course you're gonna wanna fucking be what I got given by God naturally. It's amazing to be a woman. I had a child. How many goddamn men are waking up every day and pretending they're a woman wanting to have a child? I don't know. And the weird thing is, there's not this influx of men waking up each day and wanting to be men. It's men are waking up more and more each day wanting to be women. Women are not waking up more and more each day wanting to be men. So there's definitely this kind of flip flop, strange, unbalanced spectrum where it's almost as if the woman is only here now. It's only, you know, we're only here. We're start marketing women for baby factories because it's like that's all that society is telling us we're good at. Men can be men and now they can be women too. Okay? Even if I wanted to wake up tomorrow and be a man, I'm not strong enough physically to do what men do. I don't have the biological makeup to make me a good man. I just wouldn't be a good man. I'll tell you what though. I am a very fucking outspoken woman. I'm sure you guys got this. There are parts of me which I've often wondered, is this more masculine? Like why is it that I can hang with the guys and when I'm talking I can make great eye contact. I'm very comfortable in my body. And then I thought, that's not masculine or feminine characteristics. That's just my personality. So sometimes I wonder how many of these people who wake up and decide they want to dress in drag or they want to be a tranny, how much of that is them trying to find themselves and feeling as if they can't find that point where they're comfortable being them, honoring their feminine parts and their masculine parts, but not changing what they were put here, how they were put here, the life they're supposed to work through. And instead they take the easy way out and be like, you know what, I just want to be a woman. Well, that's fine, okay? But I don't get to take the easy way out, all right? Do you think when I kept having surgery after surgery after surgery because the body that God gave me kept failing and I was medically requiring all of these surgeries? Like, I did not go to the doctor like, please operate on me. It's just what I want to do this year. 20 fucking 8 times. So I don't have this sense of understanding when people try to be anything other than what they were put on this earth to be. And it's fun to play dress up. I'm all down for that. You want to play dress up? Fucking great. Okay? But don't try to act like you can do or be what God granted me to do and be. Because at the end of the day, you're just a man in makeup, wanting to be a woman so bad that you're willing to shove the man inside of you down away, lock it up, disgrace it, dishonor it by not honoring it, and come out looking all fucking lottie fucking da. That's not how it works. It's not how the real world works. And unfortunately for me, that's the way that the world is turning. Because the New World Order is extremely, extremely prioritized on exposing society to the predictive programming and repetitious signs, symbolisms, and patterns that will in turn allow for people to feel more wanting to be both sexes. Instead of you're a man or you're a woman now, the way that the world's turning is the New World Order wants you to be both sexes. So they don't want men turning into women and women turning into men. They want men to feel like women and men, and they want women to feel like men and women, and men to feel like women and man. So it's super socially excitable, and it's being given a space in the world where it shouldn't, because I grew up in a day and age where there's no fucking way, no how. If I walked up to my third grade teacher and said, I want a penis and I don't want to be a girl anymore, I just don't want to do that. All right? I would have been fucking put on medication, put in a fucking psychiatric facility, okay? And I would have been persuaded by extreme measures to just feel what I were put here to feel. So the bottom line is, ask yourself this: if you were not exposed to the television, to the media, if you weren't exposed to movies and music, would you still be a tranny? Would you still be gay? I don't know. I was in a discussion on Reddit a couple days ago, and one of the Reddit members brought this up to me and was like, well, I don't honestly know how to answer that, because I've never steered far enough away, because like I went through an experimental phase where I was like, yeah, I got a girlfriend. Oh, I'm so cool. I didn't know then that was me being predictively programmed by society to try to turn me into a puppet for their agenda. I do now. And there's nothing more exciting to me than like a real masculine man who's just looks the part, acts the part. When I go to bed at night, I'm not dreaming about a guy who could try on my shoes and my makeup. I'm not looking for a guy that knows more about eyeliner and eyeshadow than me. I'm not going to get my beauty advice from a man, and I'm definitely not going to pretend that a man would know anything about how to make me feel more like a woman than I could. Because the day that we start allowing men to make us women feel more like women, start asking yourself some serious questions. So here we have Rich Lux, okay? And this video we're about to see is one of his worst videos, one of the worst videos. It does a huge disservice to the HIV community. Again, I have had direct experience with my neighbors, and I was the person who was so scared from what I experienced with watching my neighbor die of AIDS that I was like always every time my insurance would pay for me to get an HIV test, I would be privately in my own doctor's office having these tests done because it mattered to me. And if I did ever turn up with HIV, which I'm not HIV positive, I have never lived a risky enough lifestyle. My insurance company isn't even willing to pay for it, unless like my doctor gets a prior approval for having good just cause. Nonetheless, this video we're about to watch, I want you to pay attention to the way they act and think about HIV, because that isn't a normal to me, but to you guys, because most of my audience is much younger than me, maybe this is normal for you guys. Maybe there is, in some way, somehow, maybe this is the normal for today's society. Let's get into the video, and then we'll talk about it.
What's going on, everyone? It's Rich Lux and Cam Lester here.
Hi, guys.
Okay, guys, seriously, this video is not clickbait, okay, because we're gonna do something very interesting. I don't know if anyone's done it before, but we're gonna get tested for HIV live on camera.
All right, guys. This is Rich Lux on the left with the clown makeup on, and they just I'll let them tell you.
We picked up these kits right here. Okay. We're gonna pick up this kit. Okay, so I haven't been tested for HIV, so I could be positive and not even know it. And what's your story?
Well, my story and all my tea is on YouTube. I am HIV positive, but I'm undetectable, so
Yeah.
I have...
He's HIV positive, but he's undetectable. He is HIV positive, but he is undetectable. That's scary. Let's continue. And I'm also really shocked at how it almost sounds like they're talking about trying on like the latest freaking, sweatshirt. To me, it almost sounds like they're just trying on clothes, or like they're making this
Like, usually my tests are like, they don't, I don't know, it just doesn't show up.
Yeah, it doesn't show up, yeah.
Undetectable means like it's not, you don't see it in your blood, but you're HIV positive.
Okay, this video.
You don't see it in your blood, but you're HIV positive. Explain that.
Is not sponsored, but so we picked up this kit at Walgreens. Went to Walgreens. It was like $50, and it lets you know if you're positive or negative. So what's interesting?
I had no idea that there were such cutesy terms like pause. Yo, what's that pregnancy test? That pregnancy what? It's pause? Your pause? Yo, what's up? You pause. It's not cool. Now let's try it with the HIV. Yo, what? Your HIV test is pause? You pause? Oh, you. Like, I don't get it. Why would you dumb it down to be something so trendy? And I apologize. He's got like 6 commercials on this shit. He pushing it to the bank.
Is since he's paused but undetectable, we're gonna see if it still shows up as if you're paused, or it will show up as you're negative.
I'm curious too, because
yeah.
So why do they fully say the word negative, but they don't say the full word positive? They're like, for positive, they're saying pause, but for negative, they're saying negative. Why aren't they like, you neggy? You're neggy! Like, I don't get this. This is so beyond my, like, this right here I would have to dumb down my intelligence to understand this.
Honestly, I've never done this. So
yeah, and then I'm curious too, because I sleep around, I don't know what's going on. So we're gonna find that out.
Yo! Wait a minute. Did he just say he is curious too because he sleeps around and he's curious to find out? I'm pretty sure he said that super quick.
As if you're paused, or it will show up as you're negative.
I'm curious too, because
All right, let me just close caption this up. All right. Show up as your name. I'm curious to come. Yeah. Wait. Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah. What's interesting is since he's paused but undetectable, we're gonna see if it still shows up as if you're paused, or it will show up as you're negative.
I'm curious.
If you're paused, the closed caption is. I know that I'm okay to feel that way now because when the closed caption device, okay, which watches everything all day long and translates everything all day long, when they don't even understand what this cat's saying and they're like, yo, you paused? Paused that? Paused? Yeah, paused, man.
Because
Yeah.
honestly, I've never done this.
All right, here he goes. Ready? He's going to say he sleeps around a lot and he doesn't know.
So,
Yeah, and then I'm curious too, because I sleep around, I don't know what's going on.
All right, but then I'm curious too, precisely brown and what's going on. That's not what it said. So let's try this one more time.
It still shows up. It was like $50, and
it's not, you don't see it in your blood, but you're HIV positive.
okay, this video is not sponsored, but so we picked up this kit at Walgreens. Went to Walgreens. It was like $50, and it lets you know if you're positive or negative. So what's interesting is since he's positive but undetectable, we're gonna see if it still shows up.
I'm pretty sure you guys can let me know. I'm pretty sure that he's literally like, I'm a whore, I sleep around. I don't know if I got HIV. Let's find out. Without all the clown makeup on, that's exactly what he just said. Listen for yourself.
As if you're positive, or it will show up as you're negative.
I'm curious too, because
Yeah.
honestly, I've never done this. So
Yeah, and then I'm curious too, because I sleep around, I don't know what's going on.
See? And I'm curious too, because I sleep around and I don't know what's going on. Fucking disgustingly gross to even think about you fucking sleeping around and not knowing. Like, you want to know if you have HIV and you're saying that you sleep around and you don't know if you have it. You want to know what's up. Wouldn't you fucking put a bag on it? I don't know. Like, I just have a problem with somebody fucking my ass and me not knowing if they think they're clean or dirty.
So we're gonna find that out, and like we're gonna be totally honest. I'm not gonna like.
Yeah, we're just gonna show you the results.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
should we explain? Like.
Yeah. So this is the kit, $50, and it's huge, guys.
Rich Lux is so stupid. Watch how he does this medical kit.
It has like a whole book in it.
This is it. So he has his open, and I'm gonna like show you.
Yours looks cleaner.
Yeah, mine looks a little cleaner.
So that's like a whole book.
Oh, it looks very complicated, but it's actually not. And it kind of guides you through it really simple, and then you put the thing right here.
I have no problem with him bringing this to his channel and kind of showing people how it's used, so in case they didn't know. But I also feel like HIV doesn't feel to me like something that you should be testing for at home. It should be done at a medical facility where the results can be documented, because somebody can go buy this kit, okay, and find out they're positive and tell nobody, and give everybody they sleep with AIDS. If it's done at a doctor's facility, you are then accountable, and so is that medical facility for having given those positive test results. There's some medical protocol that happens. There's different things that happen when you go to a medical facility and are diagnosed with HIV or AIDS. There has to be. Because when I went to the doctors and I got diagnosed with a brain tumor, which is much, much more serious than HIV or AIDS, according to the way they're making this seem like this is a fucking common cold. Well, I can tell you there's a protocol. You don't get a fucking test kit at home to find out that you have a terminal illness. You don't. You don't. So to me, I guess I have moral and ethical issues with people being allowed to drop $50 to a pharmaceutical company to take a test at home that they can hide the results of. I'm not worried about the false positives. Big deal. The test fucks up and says you have it and you go find out you don't. Well, hallelujah. The test says you're negative and you really are positive, then you got fucking fucked because you just put your money and your life and your medical existence on a take home from the fucking pharmacy $50 fucking test. And you don't have to spend any money to get tested at your doctor's office. It is free. Free. And you can depend on the results. There are certain standards and ethics that are upheld when you go to a medical facility and are tested for any STDs. You don't get that with this. And you're going to see exactly one of the main problems with having this test at home is that you have retards like this guy, and watch what he does with this test. It's pitiful. It's pitiful.
And it's pink, and then one line means negative, two lines means positive. So it's kind of like a pregnancy test. And then in here, it opens up like a little drawer, a little vanity. You have all your equipment and your test and like a secure trash bag so you can like throw it away. Okay, so are you ready? Yeah, yeah.
All right, so if you take that test and you turn out positive, that trash bag that cat on the right's holding up is just supposed to protect the world from your contaminated devices being put out into the world, perhaps contaminating whatever it comes in contact with. That the pharmaceutical company feels that after they've got your $50, that if you come out positive for AIDS, that little fucking dollar store fucking baggie is gonna stop the AIDS from contaminating anything else, whether it be the freaking environment, the ozone, not the ozone, the ecosystem. I'm baffled here, because when I have medical testing, I get sent home with this little baggie, says specimen, and it seals, and it has a biohazard sign on the front because it contains medical specimens, and they do that for my urine. I'm literally in the middle of doing kidney test for my kidneys right now, and they gave me the bags to put my urine in, and they're double bagged, sealed, biohazard thing on the front, specimen word on the front, and that's just for my goddamn urine. So how the fuck can these people sell an HIV test in which we know the guy on the right is going to be disposing of a positive test because he has told us before they even began the video he is HIV positive. So that little dollar store fucking trash bag is supposed to make me feel okay that these people can walk into a pharmacy at any time, live a risky life, do risky things, and not take the appropriate precautions, then walk into a pharmacy just like the Plan B pill. All right? Oh, I don't want to wear a rubber. It's okay. We'll get the Plan B in the morning. You don't have no idea what that does to your body. God bless any of you guys who have actually thought that's an option, because you're going to find out the long-term studies of, I'm not going to get into it. That's a whole nother video, but God bless you, because you're going to need God blessings. Now with this, I honestly don't understand how it's appropriate for this HIV test to be sold in a pharmacy. If people come positive, which we are going to see right here in the video, they're just supposed to freaking bloop, plop it in and throw it in their trash bag with their fucking, all their other fucking whatever that they throw in there. Like, I'm baffled. I'm baffled. I'm glad they didn't make the system flushable, because then we know the ecosystem would be cross-contaminated. I'm sorry, but if they're going to put a video up about something that's such a intense topic, then they're going to have to hear intense opinions.
Yeah, okay.
Flashback, so make sure you put it in trash bag.
Oh my god. So I need to know, when the doctor told you were paused, did you like completely break down and freak out?
Bowl. You love my bowl? I still love your bowl. SCJ7424. What? Bowl? This bowl? I love this bowl. It needs to be packed though. Glad for the reminder. Let's go forward here. Here's another fucking ad. All right.
Like that's like everyone wants to know, because everyone's different. Because I feel like I would be, okay, honestly, if I found out, if the doctor told me I was paused, I think I'd be like, okay, cool, start me on medication, and then, or
I think it's amazing that all these people out there have this attitude that, oh, if I find out I'm paused, and I think it's funny because now all I can see is a doctor being like, pause. Oh my God, Nurse Betty, can you believe that these fucking millennials keep coming in here thinking that they can just get a fucking pill and I'll wave my magic wand and it'll all be okay? Fuck. Unpause.
whatever, the route to get on medication. And then later on when I get home, I would shut the door and then I would break down.
So like that's kind of like me.
Yeah.
So when a guy told me, he was like, oh yeah, he said it's so calm. He's very like, you're HIV positive.
Who? The doctor?
He wasn't a doctor.
Or like a nurse or
but it was
something?
like a someone like that.
Okay, first of all, nobody can call you and give you test results of terminal nature over the phone. It's against the HIPAA practices because you don't know for sure if the person on the other end is actually the patient. When I had my brain tumors, I had to go in and I had to be told in person. It doesn't work like you must have gone to some back alley fucking clinic where they're like, yo, Bobby, here's your start of the shift. Hey, Bobby, here's your list, and you need to call everybody on this list and tell them they're paused. Yep. Oh, you can take your 15-minute break after that. Hey, patient number 1, I just wanted to call you from the half-assed clinic and let you know that you're paused. Hey. Okay. Hey, patient number 2, this is a half-assed clinic, and I just wanted to let you know you're paused. You're paused. Congratulations, it's a pause. Hey, patient number 3, this is the half-assed clinic, and I just wanted to let you know that you're paused. It doesn't fucking happen like that. No, it does not happen like that. You know how I know? Because doctors' offices would be getting sued. If I'm here and my phone is right here, okay, and I'm in the bathroom and say, my daughter picks up my phone and is like, hello? And they're like, is this beep, beep? And she's like, yeah, how can I help you? Just wanted to let you know this is a half-assed clinic and your pause. Toodaloo. Come on.
Helps you like go through the process and get you on your medication and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, you know, I've had
Wait. So they told you right that you got tested that day?
Yeah, I got tested that day, and it was like literally 15 minutes later they told me.
Was it the same person who poked you?
No, it was a nurse that did that. And
so they totally got somebody else to come into the room. Oh
So
snap!
like
Oh snap! You mean a nurse did your? When you get your blood drawn, the doctor does not draw your blood, you guys. A nurse doesn't even draw your blood. A phlebotomist draws your motherfucking blood. Okay? So the fact that Rich Lux is like, oh my God, 2 people had to come and be involved with getting your blood drawn and telling you? Yeah, bitch, because this is what happens, okay? You go, you get your fucking blood drawn at the lab by the phlebotomist. Then they send those blood samples over to the testing area, whether it be on-site or off-site. In this cat's case, it was on-site. They put it in the thing. They fucking spin it out, okay? They take it out. They run the test on it. If you get the positive result, it's marked in your record. If you get the negative result, it's marked in your record. Those results are then sent to the doctor who ordered the test. Then that doctor has either a follow-up appointment with himself, or if you're at a clinic, the doctor will make time. And usually if you're positive, they don't make you wait. They will come talk to you. And I learned all about this, like I said, because my neighbor was the first person in my county to ever die of AIDS. So I got to see all the hospice, all the treatment, everything at a very young, scary to see age. So yeah, the doctor will come and tell you. But the fact that Rich Lux over here is so shocked that the doctor didn't draw his blood and the doctor didn't run the test and the doctor didn't bring him into the room, I'm just shocked. Like, he's coming across extremely, extremely ignorant.
So when you were like, this is something different, why there's a different person in here?
No, so it was.
See, that's so dumb. Dude, have you not ever been to the doctors? Like, and look at how Rich Lux, look, he's just like, oh, tell me about it. Oh, yeah, what did you tell me? It's so fucking weird. Like, what do you mean? You did not really think that the doctor checks you in, takes your copay, brings you to the room, or takes your blood pressure and weight, and then goes out, spins around 3 times, clicks his heels, waves a wand around, and comes back in. Like, I don't understand. clearly don't understand how the real medical world works. And you know what? Good for you. Because it sucks that I have to know all how fucking far too much and too well how the medical world works. You don't live the life I've had 28 fucking surgeries, and be stuck in the position I am in life without paying attention. Of course, somebody is going to take your fucking blood. Of course, somebody else is going to bring you to the room, and of course, somebody else is going to tell you your results. You have to be a medical professional, which is another reason this test right here is unethical. This ain't a pregnancy test. This is telling somebody whether or not they have a terminal illness or not. And neither of these two fucking people, even together, even with the mannequin in the back, share a fucking brain. Like, this is holly jolly content, views, doing it for the money. And how do I know he's doing this for the money? Because he's got motherfucking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fucking ad rolls on this video. He did this video to make money and to get views, and it's despicable.
There's a nurse that did that. And
So they totally got somebody else to come into
Yes.
the room. Oh,
So
snap.
it's like 2 separate
So
things.
when you were like, this is something different. Why there's a different person in here?
No, so it was like you go to the nurses, and
Yeah.
that's where they test you and all that kind of stuff, and then they give the results to like the social. They're kind of like social workers,
Yeah.
and they kind of get you like started like for what is it? If you want therapy, if you need this,
Oh
and
my
you need
god,
that.
you need therapy.
So,
House. I'm
yeah.
going to the gigs.
So he called me in and he told me my results, and you know I was kind of like, I was like shook, like I was like, I just like was like, like I was just very like. And didn't say anything, very just like, you know, want the medication, and I wanted to just leave.
So they gave you meds that day?
Yes, they gave me
Wow,
meds that day.
that's
well, they
awesome.
gave me an hour later, so
Yeah.
they gave me it that day. So I went to my car to wait for the meds.
You mean they gave you a prescription that you had to go drop off on the pharmacy and pick it back up that had refills because you have to take these for life? So, Rich Lux, you're fascinated that this cat got diagnosed with HIV and was offered medication the same day? I'm sorry. You're dumber than I thought.
Yeah.
And I literally just broke down in my car by myself in LA, you know, just like I was just sitting there sobbing because on the steering wheel. Like,
Oh,
just thinking,
man.
like,
At what point did they start thinking about calling all of the people that they slept with to let them know the courtesy call of, hey, by the way, we fucked and I'm dirty and I've got HIV. You better get checked. That's required by the law in the state I live in. And I remember this because I remember Robert, the guy who died. I remember his mom having to make those phone calls for him. And it was a very long list. Apparently, gay people are very, very promiscuous. Because there was like over, I think, 72, 73 people. Like they were numbered, and I could just see the paper, and at the bottom was like 72 dot and a name, 73 dot and a name. So I don't know if there was more names on a different paper, but that one freaking sheet had like 72 or 73 names on it. And so, like back then, they didn't have cell phones either. So that, you know, in a way is a good thing because it allowed his mom, Marion, it allowed Marion to be able to connect with people easier because now you got a cell phone, the number can change, you know, blah blah blah. Back then you had a phone that was attached, a landline. You had a landline that was attached to the wall and didn't change as often as people's cell phone numbers do.
you know, everything. The only thing that I was like thinking about like was my family. That's the hardest thing that for me, like, is to tell your family. I feel like that's what like the hardest thing. Would it be hard for you to tell your family?
I wouldn't tell them immediately, but
Yeah, I didn't
I
tell
would
my
like
family.
whenever like there's like that moment, like you know, they're like, hey, how you been? What's going on now?
Whenever there's that moment, you know, like, hey, how you been? What's going on? By the way, I've got HIV. What? I think the hardest thing would have been telling the people I slept with. I don't think telling my family would be as hard as telling the people I had slept with. Like, I can't even imagine what it would actually be like to have a list, whether it be 72 people like Robert or it be, you know, however many. Just having to call one person and being like, what's this guy's name? Kevin or Kevin or something? Like, just having to be this guy on the right with the white fucking boa on. And I feel like he hasn't. I feel like this is something that isn't, like, I'll be interested to hear if they indeed were responsible and called the I don't want to say lover, but the fuck list. So I think for me personally, it would be extremely difficult for me to call the fuck list and tell people over telling my family. You know, like, I don't fuck my family. I didn't contaminate my family. I just got to worry about them not treating me fairly or equal anymore. Not wanting to share things or being worried if I cut myself. Things like that. Things that would be the impact on my end. And I know Mary and Robert's mom had a real tough time with that because they didn't have the studies that they do now. It wasn't so informationally available. You couldn't pop on Google and find out if this information was true or not. Back when Robert died of HIV, or he died of AIDS because his HIV progressed, there was no information. It was literally thought that you could get it from any kind of interaction with somebody who were contaminated, like sharing a straw. Nowadays, I'm told, and I don't know because I haven't, it's not a topic I've had to particularly look up or even research. I don't have any friends who are HIV positive, and I'm not. And I guess I don't really know if we still think that, or if that was like a old wives' tale in a sense, or lack of information, lack of knowledge.
I would just tell my mom.
Yeah.
I don't think like my aunt, uncle, cousins, third neighbors.
See, I think your mom would probably tell your aunts, uncles, and thirds and fourth cousins. I don't know, but I don't know how that works. I just would be super surprised if a mom could manage to hold all of that in and not share with what is considered family.
Yeah,
my family knows. And especially it's all on YouTube. So
yeah. Okay, guys. For those who don't know, he puts his whole entire journey on YouTube. But it's not that. It's also beauty and makeup and fashion and love it, superstar of the world. So yeah, and he has a pumping Instagram. So if you like him so far, check out his Instagram will be down below and his YouTube, so you can like, subscribe, and check it out and just follow it because I like him and I think
I like you, Rich.
Yeah, and there's like major stuff coming his way, so you're gonna be seeing his face a lot more often. So yeah, so if you don't like him, get used to it, baby, because you're gonna be seeing his face everywhere. Okay, so let's start this test because we're gonna be talking. So while we're talking, it can do its thing. So I'll let you start, and I'll just like copy what you want. Okay.
Wait for it.
I need to. You know what? I think every gay guy or straight woman should have this at home, and then whenever like their hookup comes over, it's like, hold on, let me test you. And
I wonder why he just said every gay guy or straight woman. Honey, why wouldn't you say every gay guy or straight guy? Why wouldn't you say, I think, everybody? Why would you say every gay guy and straight woman? That makes me feel like you're implying that the men that we women think are straight are actually fucking men, like on the DL. So like, women, you better get your HIV test because you don't know where your man has been.
big old kit.
That would be
Hold
smart.
on. Let me see. Okay, like that.
That would be so smart.
Just to be like on the safe side, you know? Okay.
Let me do this.
Okay, guys, so who did you open this one?
No, open this
Okay.
first.
All right, guys, so I got to
Watch
show y'all
this.
real quick. Okay, so here's the tube.
Yep.
I'm going to open it. And
He throws
so,
it shit everywhere.
did you uncap it?
That is a test tube with the reactive chemical. That is the reactive chemical. That means when they put their test in this chemical, this is the chemical that's required to give a proper, accurate, or as close to accurate as possible diagnosis.
Cap right here. So
Okay.
I just uncapped it and I snapped it into that little thing.
There's not.
See?
What was that?
That was a formula.
Yeah, okay, I still have
That's
some in
on
there.
You should be fine.
Yeah, I have some in there. Okay. So
Yeah.
it like spilled. I didn't know there was formula in there.
Yeah, so this
You couldn't
Okay,
fucking
so
hear the
this
liquid
goes
or
in here.
what?
this is
Whatever.
like a pee test. Yeah, it goes in there.
Okay.
It should snap in.
Yeah.
It snap in. Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
like
okay. Vanna White.
Dude,
Okay,
this is
go
an
ahead.
HIV
Oh,
test.
snap. Okay, go ahead. Oh my god. You're moving a lot faster than me. Okay.
So he's just testing
I'm
his
gonna
spit
open
then.
this
So
test
essentially,
stick.
if that's all it
Okay.
takes is your spit,
You
then
open
yeah,
the
you
test
can get it
stick,
from using a
And
straw
you rubbed
or
it
kissing someone.
once, twice, 3 times?
So once on one side on the top, and then the other side on the bottom.
Turn it around.
And then turn it around. Yeah, like that. Perfect.
Saliva, gums.
Saliva.
Okay, then what?
And then I put it in the tube.
Okay.
When
And
I
then it
fucking
tells you
kiss
to
a man,
close
like
the
I'm
window.
all up in that.
Okay, so like this. Hold on.
This is
It's-
scary.
Mine has a lipstick on. Okay, so this way like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you just did a medical test that you didn't even take serious enough to actually wipe your clown makeup off and actually take this seriously. Put the clownerism on the side, put the makeup to the side, and come here and be fucking real. Be fucking serious. What the fuck? I'm sorry that you think that the medical field and medical testing and the HIV is something, you know, to be fucking mocking and to be fucking joking and oops, I didn't even know I had liquid. There goes your fucking reactive fucking chemical. And honestly, I just feel like if you can't take this serious, then would you want, if you came back HIV positive, would you expect people to have fucking sympathy for you? Because doing a video and doing it like this and making it this jokery, this clown, like, oops, oh, it's okay, I didn't know. Like, when I pick up, this lighter has liquid in it. I can feel it. Like, come on. And, like, you're just following him. You did not even read the directions yourself. So you're talking about, oh, here it is. Here's my big kit. It comes with this. Here's that. Here's this. You didn't even fucking read the directions and you had opened the box prior because it was already open. So I'm fucking kind of lost here. Like, why would you come do this shit on your channel if you can't pay it the respect it's rightfully deserving? I mean, it's bad enough that you think it's appropriate to go to fucking Walgreens and give the big pharma, you know, your 50 fucking bucks to do something that will in turn allow you to keep your results secret. So how many people are buying these kits who don't have a fucking YouTube channel and or who don't want to put this shit publicly on display? Like, how many? And then are like, oh my God, I'm not going to tell anybody. At least I know now. I mean, come on. This is irresponsible. And the pharmaceutical company that is selling this freely without a prescription to anybody needs to actually be called to the table and ask them why they feel it's appropriate for something of this magnitude that is basically and essentially diagnosing you with a terminal illness, why it's being made so light, like a pregnancy test or like an ovulation kit. Like, bitch, this isn't ovulating. This is fucking HIV. And now, what are you going to do with your applicator when you're done if you have HIV? You're going to put in your little fucking dollar store trash bag they include in this fucking kit that's not at all protected against contaminating cross-contamination?
How it goes in.
Okay, so what number is it for the thing? 6?
He doesn't even
Yeah,
know.
okay, cover.
So
what
like
I'm
we
saying.
went ahead and okay, so you see this right here? You just close it.
Mm-hmm.
So that way you're not like in anxiety watching.
All right, I'm sorry. That dumb fucking flap is stupid. Don't you think the people who manufactured this could have made it so when you put the stick in, there's like a slider, like with a spring loaded, like a slider. So normally it doesn't show, but when you want to see the results, you just push it to the side. That way, like that little flap on a fucking index fucking card inside the kit is so fucking stupid. That's supposed to prevent me from looking and having anxiety. I'm having anxiety that you're using it.
Yeah.
I guess.
And it turns all pink at first, so
Yeah, you see it like the paper, it's pink. So it's gonna be pink, so don't be alarmed.
And then they have information about like HIV.
So
in
if you're
there.
paused,
So you
here
get
you go.
like 20 minutes. Oh, so we need a timer.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna time it. We're gonna chat for a little bit and then we'll be back. But 20 minutes, oh my gosh, okay. This is like, we literally, I can't believe they sell this at the drugstore.
Can't believe
I'm
they do
happy
either,
that
and
they
I
do
can't
sell
believe
it,
you
though.
bought it.
Cause like we went to go look for it. They had, what did they have? Oh, they had, of course, pregnancy tests. They had drug tests, cocaine tests, marijuana tests. They had tests for like STDs and stuff. So all these little kits that you can buy and take home. And then you were like, why do they sell this? And I'm like, parents want to know if their kids are doing anything. So yeah.
You honestly think that the reason they sell that shit is so parents can keep tabs on their kid? Are you that fucking detached from reality? They're selling it because there's people out there getting pregnant. There's people out there getting fucking STDs and fucking doing drugs. And they'd like to know for sure what the fuck is actually happening. Some people just want to take these drug test kits and find out how much they can do without it showing up. There's a million fucking reasons, and it's not just kids looking after their fucking high schoolers or elementary kids. That is not reality. The reality is that you're making medical testing a drive-through situation, like you're just going through fucking McDonald's and getting your fucking fries and HIV test kit. Free with each Happy Meal.
All right. So you found out you were paused. You were in the car crying your heart out. Who's the first person you called and told?
Some guy that I was talking to it, because I think it was easier just to tell someone that like I didn't know me completely or know my whole background.
So you just spilled your tea.
He actually he was HIV positive.
Yeah.
So he was able to relate and help me through the process.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
that's why. But he was on medication and everything. Like he was really
and that's the thing. Like if you're paused and you're on medication, you are undetectable and you can't pass it around.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's
so that
not
the
true.
key is to become undetectable.
That is not fucking true. I can't believe he fucking just said that. That's not true. If you have HIV, look at me. If you have HIV or someone you know has HIV, there's no medication out there in the world that will suppress HIV so it is no longer contagious. How fucking dumb do you have to be to actually think and be telling your audience that there's a medication that you can get put on which will stop you from spreading and being contagious? No. No. I have not been predictively programmed to buy into that garbage. I saw with my own fucking eyes. All right? What happens when somebody has fucking HIV and they don't tell somebody else and that person ends up dying? A horrific fucking death. Alone. So in this fucking cat, literally in these people, I can't even imagine. Is this what the whole entire gay community fucking thinks? Does everybody out there under the age of fucking 40 actually believe that you can get put on a medication and not be fucking contagious and not spread a terminal disease? How the fuck come you think that they have that capability? But cancer's been here fucking much longer. And there's many different types of cancer. And they do not have a pill, all right, that will put you in remission so you do not fucking have cancer spread throughout your own body. Throughout your own body. Never fucking mind through somebody else's fucking body. Through sexual contact, which is a very intimate, very personal, very fucking personal experience. So don't fucking try to convince me that they don't have a drug yet which can stop the cancer from spreading through my own body, but they have something out here in the world that'll stop that guy's HIV from spreading throughout the community. Your predictive programming cannot actually have you fucking believing that you can have a terminal fucking illness and you can get a fucking pill and you can fuck and not spread it. Are you fucking kidding me? What? I wouldn't even believe if someone posted a fucking link in my Whisper right now saying, no, here's the information. It's actually true. Wow. Holy shit. No. That's what they want you to think. I have seen somebody get HIV. I have seen them fucking die of it, okay? You don't stop it. You can suppress it, meaning slow it down. But you cannot stop it. And people are sleeping with other people thinking, oh, I took my fucking HIV pill. I can't spread it. I'm going to go fuck today. If you have not had the personal experience with actually watching somebody back when HIV was raw, it was here, it was demolishing and destroying fucking communities. People, masses of fucking communities within fucking the Broadway spectrum, masses of fucking people have died because of this illness. I watched somebody at the very fucking young age. I watched my neighbor die from the HIV turning into AIDS. So if this guy means that you can take a pill and slow down the progression into full-blown AIDS, that's one motherfucking thing. But for you to sit here, Rich Lux, for you to sit here on your fucking platform and make people younger, older, anybody out there who is too stupid or fucking lazy to go do their own research believe that, oh, if you have HIV, it's not even a big deal. You can just, like, get a fucking pill and shit and, like, fucking pop that shit. And literally you can go on and fucking, you can't spread it. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Actually, he was HIV positive.
Yeah.
So he was able to relate and help me through the process.
Oh, okay.
So that's why. But he was on medication and everything. Like, he was really.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if you're positive.
You also know that fucking Rich Lux right here has stepped over a fucking boundary into the medical community where he deserves to get every fucking ounce of screaming and anger that I have for the people out there he's offending. Because I'm just advocating for fucking truth and honesty and transparency, okay? Transparency. This cat doesn't even have HIV and he's like, oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, and
and you're on medication, you are undetectable and you can't pass it around.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that the key is to become undetectable so you don't spread it.
Yes.
Yeah. And actually, you know, a lot of people say you are undetectable and you can't pass it around.
But he was on medication and everything. Like, he was really.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if you're paused and you're on medication, you are undetectable and you can't pass it around.
You have triggered me, and I will fucking admit to fucking everybody that you triggered me. I don't even care. This is going to YouTube after. I don't give a fuck. I'm triggered because I've seen this at a young age. I've seen my neighbor suffer and die. And don't you think it would have been pretty fucking amazing that for a doctor to have told him, hey, do you know in another 30 years you're just going to get a pill and you can keep fucking and won't pass it around? You're giving medical advice here. You're literally telling people, you're giving medical information out as if you know it's factual and it's not. How dare you misdirect and misinform anybody who might have stumbled on this video because maybe they want to see how this HIV test works. Maybe they want to see this HIV test, who makes it, how expensive it is. Maybe they're suffering right now with contemplating if they are in fact contaminated or not. How about the people out there who've been sexually assaulted and know nothing about the person who's raped them? And they're scared, whether it be a man or a woman, and they're scared. And they might have come to your video because they're in the secrecy and privacy of their own home, feeling dirty and feeling ashamed, and hoping that maybe they could have gotten some kind of solid, reputable information out of this video. And this is what you're telling them? Shame on you. For anybody seeing my video right here, okay, like here, please talk to a medical professional. If there's any way, shape, or form you feel you need this test, then you have something brewing in your gut that's telling you you need to talk to a medical professional. I promise you, okay, I've had so much medical problems in my life, all right? I have never, ever gone to a doctor ever and had them tell me that they would have preferred me to go get my testing done at a fucking pharmacy. Never. Not even my pregnancy test, and that's like the thing I'm thinking here. A simple pregnancy. The doctors never were like, oh, well, you could have just gotten a pregnancy test at the store. Like, what the fuck? Because that's not how the medical community exists. And I'm taking his context and I am applying it to the medical community. Because if you are buying a medical test at the store, okay, then you are looking for medical insight about yourself. You're trying to find out information that you wouldn't have the capability of doing otherwise. Now, Chloe, what about the people who don't have insurance? Fuck them. Because you can get an HIV test for free at any fucking minute clinic, at any CVS, at any urgent care center. I know for a fact that any CVS, you can get this because when you're getting your scripts, they have a big fucking sign. The Minute Clinic CVS does all this fucking testing, all this other stuff. You can also Google Planned Parenthood, the word Planned Parenthood in Google. Planned Parenthood near me. There's tons of clinics. Nobody's going to charge you for an HIV test, I promise you. And if they do, you can get it done somewhere else for free, I promise you. And it's going to be taken seriously. You're going to be met with compassion. If you do come back positive, you're going to be able to be offered the appropriate resources in the privacy and fashion that you require. Because if you take this test at home and you come back positive, you're stuck whenever it is, night or day, with the internet to be your first and foremost, on the front line place that you're mining information from. You're looking to Dr. Google. Something of this magnitude, something like HIV or AIDS, I just want to encourage everybody to go speak with a medical professional. There's resources in every community, every town, every state. They're there for a reason. Because this is a serious matter. And whether it be this, or drugs, or a pregnancy, or ovulating, whatever you're testing your medical life for, chances are it shouldn't be done with an at-home test kit. I would say ovulating and pregnancy are the only two things that I would say are acceptable for this. You could also do drug tests at home. However, you got to understand that that just tells you whether or not the person has it in their system, not when it was done, not how much it was done, not why it was done, not where it was done. So I had to stop and give pause because there's no way that this fucking clown has the right to be using his platform and using his position as a public figure to be giving out such false information that could make or break how somebody responds to the results that they get. Not once have I heard him contact a medical professional. Not once have I heard him say, by the way, I'm not here to tell you the definitive. This is just what I have been educated to. Nothing of the sort. There's no respect given. And honestly, it's extremely fucking offensive.
Mm-hmm. Right. So that the key is to become undetectable so you don't spread it.
Yes.
Yeah. And actually, a lot of people say hooking up with someone who is undetectable is a lot safer than someone who you don't even know.
Well, because they go to the doctor more frequently.
Yeah.
So predictive programming has put the thought into people's brains in society that it's better to sleep with somebody who is telling you they're undetectable than to sleep with somebody that you don't know if they have it or not. Sleeping with somebody who is undetectable is safer than sleeping with somebody who you don't know if they have it or not. Wow, Rich Lux. Wow.
I mean, when I first was positive, I would be in a doctor like 3 times a week.
Damn.
Yeah. So, but now, like, I'm kind of there, like, maybe every 3 months.
Yeah, to get
sometimes,
tested.
just to like
yeah.
test my blood, make sure that I'm like even out, and that's like
Yeah.
it's definitely slowed down.
Okay, let's talk about medication. Like, how much? Like, is it expensive?
If you don't have insurance or good insurance, it's going to be expensive, but most of the time they base it on your income. So if you're making a lot of money, you're going to pay more out of your pocket. If you're not making as much money, a lot of states in the U.S. now have like programs where they like
You
help
get it
you
for
out
free.
for free.
Yeah.
So like it really depends like where you live. Sometimes it's like harder, like if you're like in the middle of nowhere. But I feel like Houston, LA,
Yeah,
New York
major
City,
cities. Yeah.
Dallas, like they're gonna have stuff available for you. So I
Yeah.
feel like that's why also a lot of gay people kind of live here because there's like the LGBT centers. And
Well,
stuff.
you know what? That's cool too because like I feel like a lot of gay people move because there are a lot of gay people who live in like a town, a small town
Mhm.
with no gay club, nothing really around. Mine's like pink too.
Why am I nervous and I know my results and I'm like so nervous. Oh my god. Like I feel like I'm going through the gigs right now. I'm like, oh my god. Like I look at it, I'm like, oh my god.
Okay, yeah, mine looks a little different. Like, were we supposed to dip it in there over and over?
No, you're just supposed to let it
Dumped
sit.
all your liquid
Okay,
out, bitch.
So right now, let me show you the tea.
They have it in Spanish too.
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect.
All right. So if you live in a small town, I feel like it's better for gay people to live in like a big city with more gay people because there's more guys you could meet, but two, like your access to more like I don't know medication, I guess.
Medication and like resources.
Yeah, you won't be so bored.
Oh my God, that is not true. Do not think that because of where you're geographically located, you're not going to have the same access to medication. Let's just stop and give a moment of prayer for Rich Lux and his entire gay community and everybody who actually thinks that that's the way that the world works because fuck, we're doomed. Amen.
Yeah. Anyways, but I'm not scared because if this thing says I'm pause the house, I'm not scared.
Video viral the house.
Video viral house, yeah. I'm not scared because let me tell you why I'm not scared. Because HIV is not what it used to be. It's not a death sentence.
Mm-hmm.
You can live a perfect, normal life.
Me on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Okay?
Me on Instagram.
Yeah. Model the house, okay? You can live a perfectly normal life. It's just
About taking care of your health. Like if you take care of your health, you're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Now if you're like, depressed, like you're going through the gigs, you're not taking care of yourself, you're not going to the doctor, you're scared, you're gonna end up worse.
Yeah.
But we have the medicine and resources to like do
Yeah.
that. And also there was like a case, in London where they
there's
HIV.
Okay, tell them about that. Because a lot of people don't know. This is new. This is a new study, guys.
So I think the guy had something else. Like you told me that he had something else. Like I don't know, but he had like a bone transfer.
He had a type of cancer, I believe.
He had some kind of cancer in London, but he got cured of his HIV.
Yeah.
And I just honestly, I feel like even though he had like something else, I feel like that means HIV is curable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that gives me like hope. So sometimes when I hear stories,
You should talk to the government about HIV and how it got here and the cure for it because just like Lyme disease, the government brought AIDS here and the government is withholding, just like cancer, the cure because it's a huge, this whole video, medicine, access to medicine. You know how much fucking money the pharmaceutical companies and the government are making over HIV positive and the AIDS pharmaceutical industry? Do you have a fucking clue? No? You don't? All right, well, let's clue together. Let's see, 441 is the top for generic cost of a thing. It's saying optimal HIV treatment costs $18,300 or more, while 48 weeks of treatment for HIV and Hep C together will cost $29,000. All right. See, these HIV pharmaceutical companies made the Fortune companies change the world list. I just want to know. Here we go. This is good. Here we go. Earlier this week, Fortune magazine shared a graph of a total number of people living with HIV since the epidemic first started over 2 decades ago. All right, here's this chart. Why the fight against AIDS still matters in one chart. So, 1990, people living with it. So the number has gone up. Oh my God. The numbers haven't gone down anywhere. So 1990, this is probably about when Robert was diagnosed, I would say. He died by 95. He died well before then. Well before then. It was fast when HIV turned to AIDS, he died fast. And now we're looking at potentially 36.7 million people in worldwide who are HIV positive in 2015. And the numbers have gone up drastically every 5 years, so we're probably well over 40 million now. Gilead Sciences, number 4 on the list, okay, a pharmaceutical company, is on the cusp of treating 10 million of those 40 million people with their drug. And Cipla is number 46 on the list. It's an Indian pharmaceutical giant that says its anti-AIDS drugs now reach patients in 115 countries. So we're not talking about, a little vitamin here. We're talking about extreme amounts of money. So it's in the government's best interest and the pharmaceuticals' best interest to never give us the cure for things that cause terminal illness, because people will run and chase and spend their very last penny trying to feel like they're going to have a chance at overcoming and living longer and not being taken away by something that they have no say in. I have cancer. I'm coming from a place of experience.
Like that kind of gives me like, oh my God, maybe like in like 20 years, like, I might not even have to deal with this. So that's what I
you have a whole video about how HIV's affected your body.
Yeah.
Now, how has it affected your body? Because and guys, you watch that video, it's very interesting.
So
have you
now
seen any changes?
I gained weight. That's what I did.
Oh, snap.
So I gained weight, but like I lost, like I used to have rashes on my body, like my gums were really bad.
Yep.
Like my teeth just did not look like this.
I remember the
now
sores
my gums,
all
like,
over
grew
Jay's
back.
body.
Yeah.
Robert's body.
Was it because of medication?
Robert, Jay, we called him Jay.
No, it was because of HIV.
Okay.
I can remember this. It was
once
so
like,
heartbreaking.
you're talking about like I got better because of medication? Yeah, as soon as I got on the medication, like everything was like, I felt better.
Yeah.
I was able to like
But when you went and got tested, you weren't going through the gigs with your gums and anything, right? Or rashes?
I think I was going through it, but it was just because I was like so like that first week it was like a lot. Like it was like one after one. Like once I lost a lot of weight, like I had a rash, like super bad. My gums were super bad. Like it moves fast. Like I think they said I was like 3,000 T's something cells away from having AIDS. So once you go to AIDS, you can't go back. So I was like really close to having AIDS, so I'm glad I caught it when I did. And sometimes it's different for everyone, because I have a friend.
I'm curious. I'm very curious as a heterosexual woman. How many people in the world do you think are okay sleeping with somebody that they know has HIV? What kind of guilt do you feel as a human being if you pass that HIV on to someone you supposedly love?
That was HIV positive, but his the blood count of like HIV, the amount like never grew, so it was very like stagnant.
Yeah.
So he didn't have to take medication.
Do you think that, I guess there's like different strains of it, I guess.
Yeah, so he didn't have to take medication for 5 years. So to me, I had to like, it was like growing super fast.
Yeah.
So you never know. Everyone's.
So this cat on the right is telling everybody on the internet that he was borderline AIDS. He got on medication, and the lab results, which are also tied into big pharma, are telling you that the medication is working and you're not getting as sick. However, you are numbers away from having full-blown AIDS, and you still think it's okay to have sex with other people. I guess once you have AIDS, don't you just sleep with other people who have HIV and who have AIDS? I mean, once you have AIDS, you're pretty not interested in sex very much. And I guess I'm wondering, like, once you get AIDS, do you just sleep within the HIV/AIDS community? The other people who are dormant or undetectable? I don't know how that actually works because I've never thought about it before. I've never actually been like, wow, I'm now a single female. Do I have to worry about this? Because I am now. Knowing how wishy-washy and just, oh, it's nothing. Go check out my video. That's fucked up to me.
Different. So even though it's my story, you can react completely different to everything.
Okay. So I asked him off camera. I said, did you have any symptoms? And you said,
my symptoms basically were like, they weren't there until like maybe 2 weeks before, or like 2 weeks before I got tested. I was like lost.
So you were getting sicker, which prompted you to go get testing, and you're trying to tell me that you didn't really have symptoms until 2 weeks before you got tested. However, I know the only reason you get tested for anything in life is because you're feeling sick or the need to know, something's up. So this is weird to me, because what you're saying without you saying it is that you actually were getting so sick, the doctor said much longer and you would have had AIDS. You're trying to tell me that you didn't even have symptoms until you were going to go get tested anyway? Bitch, please.
So much weight.
wait, 20 pounds?
I like 20 pounds.
In 1 week.
I was like 140. I was like 135 or something.
I can't help but wonder if there's notes over here that they keep looking at, like bullet points, because Rich Lux is trying to finish that sentence, and I don't. It's weird. This is like scripted. It feels scripted, but not practiced.
Yeah.
And my average weight was like 175. So like my face, you can see in like older pictures, like I was like.
Oh, hold on. SCJ7424. They have medication to help protect people without it. Usually prescribed to gay men. Still, it doesn't protect you enough, but doctors recommend it. See, and that's super interesting to me, SC, because usually prescribed to gay men. Well, the way that Rich Lux made it sound was that the only people he felt should be getting this kit are gay men and straight women. Making me as a straight woman, making me worry that if I end up finding somebody that I want to get intimate with, like get in a relationship and be intimate with, that they might be bisexual, and then I need to be worrying. Because it was such a generalized statement that Rich Lux applied here that I just feel sort of like worried. And I'm glad you shared that with me. Thank you for taking the time to put that in the chat, because the medications, and the most valuable thing I'm getting out of your comment, and I thank you so much for participating, is that there are medications to help protect people who don't have it. And I feel in a way that this video could lead people to believe that, fuck it if you have it. It's not the end of the world. It's not a death sentence anymore. You can still fuck. I don't get that. And I have cancer, and honestly, yes, I have had moments in my life where I'm like, I was in a relationship when I found out I had cancer. We broke off Veterans Day last year. I've been apart 6 months. We still live together because I'm not able to find an apartment yet. Waitlisted everywhere. Anyway, I did worry about when I was first diagnosed with this cancer. How do I know I won't give it to him? How do I know that I have blood cancer, chronic lymphocytic lymphoma? How do I know that if I cut myself or we're in a car accident that my blood won't give other people cancer? And I had to be really responsible about my fears and get on the internet and get on the phone with my doctor and get on the medical journals and just make sure that I couldn't give other people cancer. Because if by God I found out that by some fucking weird fucking whatever that is how it works, like HIV and AIDS, I wouldn't be putting myself out there to take other people down with me, especially not for an orgasm.
Whoa.
I could fit Victor's jeans. That's how skinny I was.
Whoa.
He was a size 28, and now I'm like
Shout out to Big
24.
Graham if you're watching. So
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so
Oh yeah. SCJ7424 says in the chat it's called PREP, so PrEP. And they have to assess high risk. But brings up a really valid point here. How exactly do you know how at risk you are? Do they come in with a sheet like, have you fucked without a rubber? How many partners in the last year? Do you do crazy drugs? Do you share needles? I mean, if it's being transferred and it can be transferred through needle use, by the way. Not everybody who has AIDS got it from sexual activity, but the majority have. And this is primarily a gay community's medical cancer. It's their cancer, so to speak. You don't see as many people in the heterosexual. You do see people in the heterosexual community, but not like you even said in your comment, it's, usually prescribed to gay men. And so it's usually gay men that are coming up with HIV and AIDS. I don't see a lot of lesbians coming up with HIV and AIDS, but it happens a lot more than is being talked about. And I live next to one of there's a community that I live about an hour from called Northampton, Massachusetts. And it is known from everybody in Western Massachusetts, it is known as the lesbian hub, like a lesbian headquarters. It is gay pride all the way. You are the minority if you are a heterosexual in that particular city. So I've been exposed to all this my entire life, and I find it really scary, if you will, that two examples right here in front of us, right up here, feel like even if you have it, you can still have sex and you don't have to worry about spreading it or catching it. I just don't know, and I'm 40, and I don't know if I knew my cancer was spreadable, but I'm on a pill that the pharmaceutical companies are telling me, no, you're good, okay? It's in the best interest of the pharmaceutical companies to say you're good, as well as the doctors to go along with it, or the reference ranges to not actually be factual, so that the continue of HIV will spread. However, the symptoms are masked, because that's, again, also aligns with the depopulation agenda, excuse me. It scares me. I do not ever want to be in a position where if I have anything that's contagious, even strep throat, I want to feel, and selfishly I say this, I don't want to feel the guilt of having to live with having given somebody else anything. And I would hope the person that got it, that I would have gotten it from, would have a little sympathy and empathy, or at least accountability and responsibility. You know what? Good question here, SCJ7424. But if they're wrong and someone gives it to them, someone gives it to somebody else, can't you sue the doctor? Now, that's a fine line in my opinion, and I'm not a lawyer, I'm not giving legal advice, but I'm definitely going to say I have not been able to sue any of my doctors, and I have proof that one of them, two of them in fact, but one of them in particular fucked me up so bad in the operating room, I'm lucky to be alive. I couldn't sue him because at the beginning of every fucking surgery or medical procedure, you sign a paper off saying there's risks involved. That one fucking paper absolves the medical world of being accountable or responsible. So I'm thinking when it comes to being diagnosed with something on the magnitude of HIV or AIDS, that if the doctor tells you you have AIDS and you don't, there might be a lawsuit there. However, what's more important? That you're not in a contagious terminal situation, which is going to take extreme expenses, money, and pharmaceutical, and a toll on everything. Is that more valuable in the legal perspective than having money for someone saying you were dying? Because on the flip side of that coin, flip the coin over. And I think that there should be no other option than suing if you were told you're negative and come to find out you're positive. There should be a form that you sign, just like the ones I were telling you about, the risks happen with the surgeries. There should be a form that the doctors have to sign and acknowledge. Because when I go to the doctor, it's all about them protecting them. All the forms, every fucking thing. There's never been anything I've ever signed at a doctor's office or a surgeon's office or a specialist's office that has protected me. That the paperwork was put in place for my own good and my best interest. They spin the HIPAA policy off like, oh, we're protecting your privacy. It's all about making you feel comfortable. No, fuck you. What you're actually doing is making sure that you are protected legally. That's not about my medical information not being disclosed. That's about you protecting yourself. So I think that in one of those situations, suing shouldn't be an option. The new lease or the release on life should be the paycheck. The doctor should get a sanction put against them on their medical record by the medical board of whatever country they practice in, and on a state level, on a federal and state level, I think that there should be an infraction on their medical record. And I also think that the practice that the doctor was involved in at the time should be held accountable and responsible too. However, if you get a negative diagnosis and in fact you find out you're positive, I think there should be a form that was already signed by the doctors and you, okay? Just like, the HIPAA one and all the other paperwork you're required to get medical care, saying they're automatically going to have to settle outside of court or settle in court for an undisclosed amount of money. And I don't know how you would determine that amount of money, but if a doctor tells you that you do not have a terminal illness and you find out that in fact you did, I believe that that doctor should not be allowed to practice medicine anymore. And I don't care if it was a bad day, it was an oversight, if it was an equivocal test. I don't care. Because honestly, SCJ 7424, you bring up some extremely valid points that don't only just go along with the HIV AIDS part of a medical problem, but also, in my opinion, can also be generalized and applied to any area of the medical community. Because when somebody is supposed to be assessing your risk level in a 15-30 minute appointment for your whole life, when you have the option to tell the truth or lie, I don't know. There's just so much that's left, open here to interpretation. Yeah, doctors absolutely need consequences. They need to be accountable, and they need to be held to a standard of being responsible. 100% agree with you, and thank you for bringing that point into this discussion. Very valid. Very valid.
You didn't have any major symptoms other than you just lost 20 pounds in 1 week. And that's what set off the alarm to like, I should go to the doctor.
I just knew something was wrong.
Yeah.
See, and I think that I can tell you from my own point of view, like I know when something's medically wrong. I absolutely know, and I know before the doctors know. I knew I had a brain tumor. I knew I were in labor. I knew I were pregnant. All before the doctors did. I was always right. Let's say 9 out of 10 times, I am always right about what's going on with my health. So I do believe in having that internal soul-connected intuition. Whether anyone and everyone listens to it, I don't know. But I also believe that if I lost 20 pounds in a week, and that's why I went to the doctor,